Okay, so welcome back, Elaine, to another Oscilingo live session. Gonna have a look at today's email and daily quotes. Some teaching around that. That'll lead us nicely into today's lesson. So let me share my screen with you. All right. Tonight. Yeah, I did. Okay. So you can read that headline quote.
Yeah.
Is that big enough?
Yeah. Pure formless awareness of perfect love is my guide, and so I shall not want for anything. It helps me to rest in the pastures of eternal life and leads me beside the still waters of my being. It restores my soul and leads me in the way of right-mindedness, in the identity of my true self. Although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death in this world, I will fear no evil, for the pure formless awareness of perfect love is with me, and its discipline and support comforts me. It prepares a table of abundance in the presence of my seeming enemies and blesses me with its beneficence, so my cup runs over.
Yeah, so that's Psalm 23 in the alternative. It's going to, if you want to read it in the original, this is a contrast.
Yeah.
Want to read it in the original?
Yeah. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
No. So go back to so it's just frozen. Good. Yeah. Just need to close that. So the contrast between these is do you find which the alternative version or the original version sort of works for you?
And the other one, the alternative.
Yeah, okay. Let's just get out of here. Okay. No, we don't know one. It's enough. So, yeah, the alternative version. So let's go back into here. Let's just store. Yeah, so read that again in the alternative.
Yeah. Pure formless awareness of perfect love is my guide, and so I shall not want for anything. It helps me to rest in the pastures of eternal life and leads me beside the still waters of my being. It restores my soul and leads me in the ways of right-mindedness, in the identity of my true self. Although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death in this world, I will fear no evil, for the pure formless awareness of perfect love is with me, and its discipline and support comfort me. It prepares a table of abundance in the presence of my seeming enemies, and blesses me with its beneficence, so my cup runs over.
And so, there you've got the true meaning of, hopefully the true meaning of the Psalm, which is probably the most famous Psalm in the Bible, written by King David. And it's really a prayer designed to connect you with your source. It highlights some of the many benefits of trusting God or pure formless awareness of the perfect love to guide you through your life in this world. As the quote points out, trusting this presence is the key to letting go of the idea and experience of scarcity, sacrifice, loss, death, and the fear that eagerly sponsors all these false beliefs and emotions. And therefore, trusting this powerful presence of perfect love that's still in your mind is also the key to receiving guidance about what to do and allowing your true self or Christ's identity and its eternal life, abundance, peace, miracles, or corrections, and freedom from fear and conflict enter into your life and bless you with their beneficence. So it it's the same message, it's the same lesson. Trust this presence that's still in your mind, and it's going to guide you, and it's going to guide you into ways of abundance, peace, joy, abundance. This is what David is talking about in the Psalm. That this presence will guide you to find that love, peace, joy, and true abundance, irrespective of what's going on in the world. So we talked about I just posted this video on the hero's journey. If you haven't watched, it's worth watching. By a guy called Pat Tanaka, who made the movie Finding Joe about the hero's journey, and he talks about the hero's journey, and he talks about his own hero's journey. It was necessary to make the movie, and quite inspiring. And then dive into the 12 phases of the hero's journey. So just to recap briefly, it starts with a call to adventure. We meet a mentor. Often we refuse the call because we doubt and we fear, but usually the guidance of the mentor gets us over the line. We cross the threshold into a new unknown world. So our perception changes and transforms, and the world changes and transforms. And now we have the initiation. So lots of trials, tribulations, testing, challenging, failure, test allies and enemies. Eventually you approach the inner cave, which is where the ordeal happens. So that's really going into the ego, facing it in all of its ugliness, and coming through that experience. It's being called the dark night of the soul, the abyss. So it's not a pleasant experience, but on the other side of that is revelation and eternity. And then chance to make it right is the road back home. So you come through the death and the rebirth. So death is the ego. You're reborn into the spirit. You have a revelation of who you really are. And that's one with everyone and everything. So interesting, it has atonement here, what one-ment, as we say it, and this has nothing to do with the course, the hero's journey. Themes are universal. And then finally, you know, we come back into the known world with these gifts that we've of love, peace, and joy we've learned through our experiences, and we can return them back to the society we came from. Hopefully teach others what we learned. And so the cycle continues, and the hero might become a mentor or a guide for someone else on their hero's journey. So be open to this. It's a transformation process, and notice how maybe this is happening or has happened in your life. Okay, so there's a recording of a live session, how to entrust your future and the hero's journey to perfect love. And watch, and that leads us nicely into today's mind training lesson, which is workbook lesson 194. So if you can read that, it's just.
I place the future in the hands of God, or I entrust the future to the power of perfect love.
Yeah, so I place the future in the hands of God. It's one way of saying it. But I entrust the future to the power of perfect love is perhaps more descriptive of what's actually happening. God doesn't have hands. You know, God has no form, so it's just an expression. You know, place the future in the hands of God. Really, I'm entrusting the future to the power of perfect love. I entrust the future to the power of perfect love is the same thing, but you know, hopefully resonates a bit better. So use whichever form works for you. All right, so let's read what Yeshua has to say about this in the lesson. All right, so well, the only translation is going to come in number 3. The rest you can read in the alternative. So read number 3. I can read number 3 in the original, and you get there, and then you read the alternative. Otherwise, just start with the alternative.
Today's idea takes another step toward.
So today's idea.
Yeah. Today's idea takes another step toward quick awakening in a giant stride. It is indeed. The distance that it encompasses is so great that it sets me down just as short of state of pure formless awareness, with the goal in sight and obstacles behind.
So the original is just short of heaven. So great the distance is that it encompasses, sets you down just short of heaven with the goal in sight and obstacles behind. Heaven is translated as the state of pure formless awareness. Okay, so I'll read number 3. Your foot has reached the lawns that welcome you to heaven's gate, the quiet place of peace where you wait with certainty, the final step of God. And then read number 3 in the alternative.
My foot has reached the lawns that welcome me to the state of pure formless awareness, the quiet place of peace where I await with certainty the final step of perfect love.
Yeah, and then carry on.
Oh, yeah. How far I am progressing now from Earth. How close am I approaching to my goal? And how short the journey I still have to take. I'll read it again.
Yeah, want to read it from the top.
Yeah. Today's idea takes another step toward quick awakening in a giant stride. It is indeed. The distance that it encompasses is so great that it sets me down just as short of the state of pure formless awareness, with the goal in sight and obstacles behind. My foot has reached the lawns that welcome me to the state of pure formless awareness, the quiet place of peace where I await with certainty the final step of perfect love. How far I am progressing now from Earth. How close am I approaching to my goal? and how short the journey I still have to take. So it's just another step, in quickening our awakening, and a giant stride it is too.
Hmm.
So it's just putting all our obstacles behind to make us reach this state of pure formless awareness.
Hmm.
So we're just about there.
Yeah, he's encouraging us. So another giant stride. You're making progress towards this goal of awakening with today's idea, and trust the power. So this is surrender to God, saying I'm not in charge anymore. I'm trusting this power, the power of life itself, to help me grant its beneficence. All right, so number 2, very much to translate there. So just read an alternative. I accept today's idea.
I accept today's idea. I have passed all anxiety.
If I accept, you left out the if.
Oh, if I accept today's idea, I have passed all anxiety, all pits of victimhood, all depressing negative awareness, and all sorts of sin and devastation brought about by guilt. When I accept today's idea, I have released the world from all imprisonment by loosening the heavy beliefs that lock to the door to freedom on it. I am free, and so my freedom becomes the gift I give the world because I have received it.
Okay, thoughts on that?
So we accept today's idea, then we can pass all the fears and anxiety and victimhood and negative awareness and all sorts of sin and devastation when we accept today's idea. So we release the world from the imprisonment by loosening the heavy beliefs that locked the door to freedom. So yes, we're free. It becomes the gift we give to the world.
So what blocks us is these beliefs. That's all. Blocks the awareness of love's presence are merely beliefs. If you start loosening those beliefs, don't believe them anymore. They have no power of you. They have no traction. They say, remember, you're free, and it's possible to live in that state and extend your freedom to others. All right, so happy to go on.
Yeah.
In no one instant is depression or pain felt or pain experienced or loss perceived.
I cannot feel depression, experience pain, or perceive loss in any moment. Oh, am I just reading it? Yeah. I cannot
just read.
Yeah. I cannot make sorrow a foundation for anything and worship it faithfully. I cannot even die. And so each moment in which I am rooted in pure formless awareness of perfect love, with the next one given to it already, is the time of my release from sadness, pain, and even death itself.
All right, any thoughts on that?
It's just saying, we're not going to feel all these negative emotions of pain and loss and depression. We can't even die. So once we're in the moment of pure formless awareness of perfect love, same is given again to the next moment. And it's our release from death and sadness and pain.
Yeah, massive. I mean, these lessons are massive. He's just telling us, none of these ideas, none of these feelings, none of these beliefs, are really true at all. And thank God for that they're not true. Okay, happy to go to number 4.
Pure formless awareness of perfect love holds my future as it holds my past and present. They are one to it, and so they should be one to me. Yet in this world, the temporal progression still seems real, so I am not asked to understand the lack of sequence really found in time. I am only asked to let the future go and entrust it to the power of perfect love, and I will perceive by my experience that I have given the past and present to it as well, because the past will punish me no more, and anxiety about the future will now be meaningless.
Yeah, so God becomes pure formless awareness of perfect love. That's really the only translation. God's hands become the power of perfect love. So he's using hands when obviously God doesn't have any hands. It's just it's kind of a metaphor. I'm just trying to understand it. The translation just says, well, it's surrendering to a transcendent power. When you're in the hands of God, you surrender to this power and you let it guide and direct you. Anxiety will be about the future will now be meaningless. Past will punish me no more. So you come into the present moment. Hold my past and present, they are one to it, and so they should be one to me. So temporal progression he's talking about still seems to be real. When we look at the timeline. Where are we? Timeline of consciousness. There we go. So this temporal progression still seems to be real, all events in time and space. But above it lies pure formless awareness of perfect love, which is unchanging. So what's shifting and changing in this world in time and space, there's this eternal awareness that is changeless, and that's always there. So you're not asked to understand that. In this world, the temporal progression still seems real, so I'm not asked to understand the lack of sequence really found in time. I'm only asked to let the future go and entrust it to the power of perfect love. So instead of focusing on the past and the future, i.e. the timeline, and making that real, we ask to let it go, transcend it, and go into our true awareness, which transcends time. And when we do that, we find love and peace and joy and happiness, because they don't exist in time. They only exist outside of time in this awareness. And this awareness becomes our guide. And this awareness via the Holy Spirit, which is the blue arrows, comes into our awareness. And it's the counterforce to the ego. So every event, significant event in your life, the ego has its say. The ego, psychological, emotional attachments will certainly have its have a go and tell you how to interpret it. But the Holy Spirit's always there to reinterpret it, and actually it's more powerful. As so the blue arrows are definitely supersede the red ones, but to start with, the red arrows can seem to be quite overwhelming. And so we've got to start listening more and more to the Holy Spirit and listening to the guidance and practicing spiritual practice to undo its hold. Okay. So happy with that one. Let's go on to number 5.
I release the future, for the past is gone and what is present. freed from its legacy of grief, misery, pain, and loss, becomes the moment in which time escapes the bondage of illusions, where it runs its pitiless, inevitable course. Then each moment that was slave to time is transformed into a wholly aware moment, where the pure formless awareness that has kept hidden in perfect love's extension is freed to bless the world. Now I am free, and all my true magnificence shines upon a world set free with me to share my pure formless awareness.
And then last one, God's Son becomes perfect love's extension, and world set free to share with pure formless awareness, share his holiness. Holiness becomes pure formless awareness. Okay, so any thoughts on this?
So it's just saying to release our future, and the past is gone, and so we can be freed from all this grief and pain and loss. This is the moment in which time escapes the bondage of illusions.
So we look at this diagram, illustrates it well. In any moment, we can go in to this awareness. We can transcend time. In that awareness, there's no past and there's no future. The timeline, the temporal progression, as he calls it, this timeline ceases to exist when we're in this awareness. So that's why the now, being rooted in the present moment, there's no awareness of past or future, is the foundation of every authentic spiritual practice, because it's an opening. Only in the now can you free your mind from the timeline, the past and the future, transcend it and go into a happy state. All right. Any other thoughts on this one?
No, that's good.
Yeah, number 6.
If I can understand the lesson for today as the deliverance it really is, I will not hesitate to give as much consistent effort as I can to make it a part of me. As it becomes a thought that rules my mind, a habit in my problem-solving repertoire, a way of quick reaction to temptation, I extend my learning to everyone. And as I learn to perceive the freedom in everyone and everything, so everyone will perceive that they are free.
Okay, thoughts
So
on that?
trying to understand the lesson today, we will not give as much consistent effort as, sorry, we will give, oh no, we will not hesitate to give, to give as much consistent effort so that it is part of us. So it's a habit that we, as it becomes a thought that rules the mind, and a habit, problem solving, a way of quick reaction to temptation. So when we see it in everyone, the freedom, so everyone will receive that they are free.
And this problem-solving repertoire highlights an important point, that the course is really a teaching and solving problems, but in a totally different way. And the ego teaches us that all the problems in time and space that we encounter on the timeline are real, and then we try and solve the problem on that level, on the level of the problem. But as Einstein said, the significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when he created them. So he understood this. Can't solve the problems of the ego at the level of the ego. You have to transcend it and go into this awareness, which transcends that level of thinking. So we just did that, when said there was a question about, well, how does it all work? How does the body work and all the organs and stuff? And we said, well, if you go into clarification of terms, and read number 4. Do you want to read it again quickly? The ego will demand many answers.
Yeah. The ego will demand many answers that this course does not give. It does not recognize as questions the mere form of a question to which an answer is impossible. The ego may ask, how did the impossible occur? To what did the impossible happen? And may ask this in many forms, yet there is no answer, only an experience. Seek only this and do not let theology delay you.
Yeah, so there's an example of the transcendence. Don't try and answer these questions that are temporal questions on the level of the timeline, just shown here. Because then you buy into the ego and you buy into the reality of it all, and the timeline and all events in time and space seems to be real. Just deny its reality by going into this awareness. That's what forgiveness does. It denies all this, and then you go into this awareness because that's all that's left. So it's such a simple process, really, isn't it? If you really look at it. This isn't rocket science. It's not a complex process, but it does require a radical reinterpretation of reality. And most people's minds are not ready for that radical reinterpretation, so they resist it for dear life, for the ego's life. Because the ego knows that if they accept it, then that's it. It's game over, and there's no more separate self ever. Therefore, no more timeline, no more world, no more illusion of bodies, of relationships here, special relationships, and everything else you value. None of it is truly real. Right. Number 7. Hands of God. I'll read the first one. First sentence. So, what worry can beset the one who gives his future to the loving hands of God?
What can worry anyone who gives their future to the loving power of pure formless awareness?
And then just carry on in the alternative.
If I do this, how can I suffer? What can cause me pain or cause me to experience loss? What can I fear? And what can I regard except with love? For I, who have escaped all fear of future pain, have found my way to present peace and certainty of care the world can never threaten. My perception may be faulty, but I am sure that I will never go uncorrected. I am free to choose again when I have been deceived and to change my mind when I have made mistakes.
Yeah. What's on that?
Just saying, why would we worry when our future is in the love of pure formless awareness? So how can we suffer? So what can cause us pain and experience loss? What can we fear? So we've escaped all the fear and future pain. So and found a way to present peace and certainty of care in the world. We can never threaten.
And I'm free to choose again when I've been deceived. So he's acknowledging that we will be tempted, we will be deceived, we may have faulty perception, but I'm always free to choose again when I've made mistakes. So there's no condemnation. That's the beautiful thing about this course. There's no condemnation when you make a mistake. He's simply saying, well, it's a mistake. And the mistake's going to hurt you, but you can correct your mistake. And that's what the miracle is. The miracle is those corrections. Because I can correct my mind, and no matter how many mistakes I seem to have made, the correction is possible. It can always be made. Because error is not true and error is not real, and there's no punishment for any of it. You could have made the most egregious mistakes. People make enormous mistakes all the time. Hurting other people, violence, attack, death, murder, never mind all the emotional dramas that go on. And yet none of it matters because the character in the dream wasn't even real. All right. Number 7, let's go to number 8. You happen to move on. I'll read this in the original. You read it in alternative. So place then your future in the hands of God.
Therefore, I entrust my future in the power of perfect love.
For thus you call the memory of him to come again, placing all your thoughts of sin and guilt, thoughts of sin and evil with the truth of love.
And so I call the remembrance of perfect love to come again, replacing all my thoughts of guilt and evil with the truth of perfect love.
Think you the world could fail to gain thereby, and every living creature not respond with healed perception?
Do I really think the world could fail to gain thereby, and every living creature not respond with healed perception?
Who entrusts himself to God has also placed the world within the hands to which he has himself appealed for comfort and security.
Who entrusts themselves to perfect love has also entrusted the world to this power to which they have themselves appealed for comfort and security.
He lays aside the sick illusions of the world along with his and offers peace to both.
So I let go of the sick illusions of the world along with mine and offer peace to both.
Okay, and from the top.
Therefore I entrust my future to the power of perfect love. For so I call the remembrance of perfect love to come again, replacing all my thoughts of guilt and evil with the truth of perfect love. Do I really think the world could fail to gain thereby, and every living creature not respond with healed perception? Who entrusts themselves to perfect love has also entrusted the world to the power to which they have themselves appealed to comfort and security. So I let go of the sick illusions of the world along with mine and offer peace to both.
Okay, thoughts on that?
Just in trusting our future with the power of perfect love. And to replace remembrance of perfect love. No, also I call the remembrance of perfect love to come again. So replacing our negative thoughts to the truth.
Hmm.
Do we think that the world could fail to gain? And who entrusts themselves with perfect love also trusted in the world to this power to which they have themselves appealed to comfort and security. So we let go of all the sick illusions and offer peace.
Along with mine and offer peace to both. So we let it all go and we hand it over. This is what it means to surrender to God. Put it in God's hand, in His
I'm
power.
just doing my Zoom. Do you want to see? Yeah, I'm doing my Zoom. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
yeah. So now I am indeed free, for I rest untroubled in the power of perfect loving awareness, sure that only good can come to me. If I forget, I will be gently reassured. If I accept an unloving thought, I trust that it will soon be replaced by love's reflection. And if I am tempted to attack, I will appeal to this power that guards my rest, to make the choice for me that leaves temptation far behind. No longer is the world my enemy, for I have chosen to be its friend. So it's
Okay.
just assuring us that we are indeed free and untroubled in this
Mm.
awareness. So if we do forget, we can be gently reassured, so we can accept the unloving thought and trust that it will soon be replaced by perfect love's reflection. And if we're
Mm.
tempted to attack, we appeal to the power that guards the rest to make the choice for me and leaves temptation far behind. So the world's not our enemy, and we've chosen to be its friend.
Mm. It's quite a profound idea. I think Einstein said something like, you're either everything's a miracle or nothing's a miracle. So you either make friends with the world and you see the good in it, or you see everything as it's dark and illusory, false, and you believe the reality of that. So it's a choice. We choose to have chosen to be its friend rather than its enemy. So when we resist life and we keep judging it and attacking it, and we've made the world our enemy. Everyone and everything in it becomes our enemy, and it seems to constantly frustrate us and anger us and make us fearful and upset, and that's treating the world as the enemy, and that's what the ego wants us to do. But we can transcend that and choose to be its friend. All right. So let's do the summary quickly. Shall I read a bit?
Yeah.
Want to kick it off?
Yeah.
Read the first paragraph.
Who, me or you?
Whichever, you can read it if you want.
I struggle to feel grateful when I misinterpret the world, which often leads me to compare myself to others, feel bitter, and feel disconnected. This demonstrates the absurdity of being thankful for suffering and the futility of comparing my suffering to others. Instead, my gratitude should be directed towards pure formless awareness of perfect love, which removes all causes of sorrow from my mind. It's just saying when we struggle to feel grateful and we misinterpret the world because we're comparing ourselves to others, feeling discontented, it demonstrates the craziness of it. I'm thankful for the suffering and the futility of comparing suffering.
Mm.
So we put our gratitude in the pure formless awareness of perfect love, which
Mm.
removes all the sorrow.
Mm. Yeah, very nice thought. Okay, so perceiving others as enemies and my consequent desire for revenge are insane. Love and gratitude are interlinked. One cannot be genuine without the other. I should never compare myself to others and be thankful for the unity I share with all living beings. Let's make that sentient, shall we? I can do this by letting go of hatred and fear to achieve peace and total gratitude.
Just saying that the
Okay.
enemies, just perceiving others as enemies is just a desire for revenge, which is insane. So love and gratitude are interlinked. They're both the same. And so we should never compare ourselves to others and be thankful for the unity we share with all sentient beings. We just do this by letting go of hatred and fear. And this will achieve peace and gratitude.
Yeah. Lovely thought.
Mm.
Again, letting go is the key. And I think this highlights the issue of comparison, which is a favorite ego device. So you'll notice the ego is always comparing to self to others, and usually either being superior or inferior. So that makes you separate. See how comparison is used to separate. So be aware of the temptation to compare. If you find yourself doing that, go, well, actually, we're all one. So in oneness, there's no comparison. We're all the same. All right, next one.
It's your turn, isn't it?
No, I've just read second paragraph. So it's the third paragraph, your turn.
Oh,
You read
yeah. This will lead to my replacing feelings of anger, malice, and revenge with gratitude, recognizing that everything I need has already been provided by pure formless awareness of perfect love. Gratitude will pave the way to this awareness, shortening my learning time and lead me to the realization that I am an extension of perfect love. So it's just leading us to the replacing feelings of anger and revenge to gratitude and recognizing everything we need has already been provided by the pure formless awareness. So this gratitude will pave the way to this awareness and shorten our learning time to lead to the realization that we are an extension of perfect love.
Yeah, the gratitude is part of love, part of loving awareness. If you're grateful, you can't be resentful, you can't be angry. It's not possible. So with gratitude, you must have forgiven. In fact, it's step 9 in the 10-step forgiveness process, letting go process for that reason. If you're truly grateful to someone or something, then you cannot resent them, you cannot be angry with them, which is why it's part of the process of forgiveness. So whatever they've done, even if they've done something apparently horrible to you, you're grateful to them because they've helped you see and reflect and undo the ego mind, which is why we should be grateful. So your hardest experiences, the people who the most challenging in your life, who've seemingly hurt you the most, should be especially grateful for them because they are helping you to free your mind from the illusion. Okay. So I'll read the next one. Overall, the lesson conveys the message that gratitude is a crucial aspect of love. Gratitude is a crucial aspect of love and is necessary for experiencing consistent peace to experience consistent peace, happiness, and a sense of unity with all sentient beings. Encourages me to let go of my negative emotions and perceptions and replace them with gratitude and love. Okay, so yeah, so that's a quick summary of that paragraph.
It's just gratitude is the crucial aspect of love and necessary to experience consistent peace and happiness and sense of unity to all sentient beings. So it encourages us to let go of all negative emotions and perceptions and replace them with gratitude and love.
Again, I say, if you feel grateful, then you must have forgiven. Can't feel grateful and also angry and resentful at the same time. So it's the test in the 10-step forgiveness process. Number of steps leading up to it. What's the final? So penultimate actually, because the final one is just affirming your forgiveness, saying, okay, I know I've done it, but I'm just going to confirm that to myself. The gratitude is an essential part of forgiveness and of letting go. So it's an essential part of love as well, and often it's very practical. So love can seem to be a bit far removed, and a lot of people seek for in special relationships. Gratitude is can be ever present. So you can be grateful to spirit for whatever life or whatever shows up. An attitude of gratitude says, well, if it's difficult and it's challenging, then obviously that's what I'm meant to experience, so that I can let it go and find my true self. All right, so important message: gratitude and love, they go hand in hand. And if you feel gratitude, then you must be in loving awareness. It's one way of knowing.
Yeah.
All right. So then the key message, so you read that, reflect on it.
I am making progress towards awakening in the state of pure formless awareness. By accepting today's idea, I release the past pain, transcend my limitations, and extend freedom to the world. Entrusting my future to perfect love, I replace my negative thoughts with unconditional love and find true freedom in perfect loving awareness, which is a result of my choice to be the world's friend rather than its enemy.
Okay. Short, sweet synopsis of the whole lesson, but I think it encapsulates the main points. So,
We're making progress towards awakening and the state of pure formless awareness by just accepting today's idea, releasing the past, to transcending limitations, and entrusting the future of this power of perfect love, and replace all negative thoughts and unconditional love, and find true freedom in perfect loving awareness. So it's a choice to be the world's friend rather than its enemy.
which is very profound.
Mm.
So most people, if you're resisting life, you're fighting with life, and you've chosen to be an enemy. Whenever you resist, you judge, you condemn, you criticize, you're choosing to be the world's enemy. And then you wonder why the world is difficult and why the world seems to be your enemy, because that's what you chose. I mean, not consciously. Very few people say, oh, I'm going to get up today and I'm going to be the enemy of the world. Yeah, we don't think that way, but it's our default pattern, the ego's patterns, unless you look at it in detail.
It's true. Yeah.
Which is what we're doing. And so really see how we resist life, how we treat it as our enemy, as an enemy. That's resistance, judgment. And we can drop all that, then the world can be our friend, because the world is a reflection then of pure formless awareness. of perfect love, and we realize that's all that's important. There's really nothing else. Okay, so any other thoughts on that?
No, that's a good lesson.
It is. Okay, so we can do a meditation for 20 minutes if you want to wrap up the session, or we can end it here. It's up to you.
I don't mind, yes, if you're okay. I can do, yes, yeah, if you're okay with that.
I'm not tired, but if you don't mind a kind of a
If you, oh,
a
well, no,
meditation.
yeah, well, yeah, no, if yeah, we'll just close it there. That's no problem, yes.
We can do it. We can do a 10-15 minute med. I don't mind. I'll manage that. So
Well, no, I mean, it just, yeah, just close it here. I mean, it's a good lesson, so that's fine. Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
mm.
all good.
All right. You happy with
Okay.
that?
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm tired too, so that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good
All right,
lesson.
Lynn.
Okay. Have a nice weekend. See
Yeah,
you.
you too.
See you
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah,
Monday.
I might run a session on Sunday afternoon. So would you be available Sunday afternoon? Or?
Not the afternoon. It would have to be the evening because I'm seeing my sister all day.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, I might be doing a family bribe, but we'll see if
Oh,
it's
okay.
happening. I'll
See,
let you
yeah.
know.
See, I'll look on the message. Yeah.
That's Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Oh,
Monday. Yeah, Monday evening.
yeah. That's good.
Hey, have a good
Okay.
weekend.
You too.
Thanks, Lynn.
Good night. Namaste. Bye. Bye.
Okay, so thank you to Elaine for joining. If you enjoyed the session, then a couple of things you can do. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then do that. You'll be notified whenever we go live, which is typically 3 or 4 times a week. Watch the live stream or recording. If you enjoy these sessions, you can also go to lifebold.com. You can see that URL in the background, and you can sign up there to receive the information that I sent. At the beginning of the session, I showed you a quote and some teaching around that, and then the workbook lesson from the course. 365 of those we work through one a day, and I'll give it to you in the original and the alternative translated version. And you'll be notified whenever I go live, so you can actually join these sessions in Zoom via Zoom link. So head over to lifebold.com and you'll be able to sign up. You need Telegram on your device, download that, and hope to catch you on the inside soon. So thank you for listening or watching, and namaste, which means the truth in me acknowledges and honors that same truth in you. See much love, peace, and joy in that truth.